career professional development program here at Silver. So just as a poll, how many of you are first-year students? Anyone? No? Well, that actually makes it quite easy because then today all we'll do is focus on job fairs. So as you know, we have an upcoming job fair for all social workers in the metropolitan area. It's going to be held at Columbia. And what Shilpa is going to do is guide you through the actual process of preparing for a job fair, what to do when you're there. And there are a couple of social work specific opportunities to practice before you actually go to a job fair or any other type of networking event, and Shilpa is going to just run through them now. You want first? Well, there's no first students.
Sorry. Okay. Is there sign up? So, does everybody know what a job fair is? Start at the beginning. Hi, are you for the workshop? Yeah. Come on in. Everybody know what a job fair is? What happens? Yeah? Okay,
Well-
so, I'm sorry?
You said no?
No?
You know, I don't want to be cocky about it. I've never been to one, so.
Okay, no, that's great. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Uh-huh.
Well, a job fair is an event where a bunch of employers come together to recruit possible employees. So it could be internships that they're looking for, it could be full-time positions, it's a number of things. They're looking to see what the talent is out there, do a really quick collection of resumes, and just get their applicant pool ready, right? I say this because people have varying understandings of job fairs. You will not walk out of the job fair. You want to go this way. You will not walk out with a job in hand. That's not going to happen. That's not the way it works. They're there to get to know you and to see if they want to get to know you better. But you will not walk out with a job in hand. So please don't go in with that expectation. That's in a nutshell what it is. It's an opportunity. Just move this here. An opportunity to meet with and learn about different agencies, and learn about different career opportunities. It's a good way to get face time with different agencies and different companies that are there, and a good way to find out about what you do and what you don't want, right? So if you're not particularly sure about, you definitely want to work in a hospital setting or you don't, you can go there and learn about the different agencies and get an idea for what you want, right? Because you don't have to take the first thing that comes your way. Even if somebody hires you, then the ball's in your court, and you can evaluate whether you want to take that opportunity or not. So this is a good place to get that first step of research in. So I want everyone to go ahead and write down the following 3 dates. Let me know when you're ready. Okay, date number 1, April 8th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Then April 15th. I don't have the times for that, but I can look those up for you. And then April 22nd from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Okay? April 8th is a job fair preparation boot camp that we're doing here at Silver. It's the first time we're doing it, and it's a way for you to help you prepare and kind of get an idea of what you need to do before the job fair. So it's going to be in the parlor from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. It's a come and go thing. There'll be 4 stations, okay? First station is going to be shaking your hand. Sounds silly, but I judge people like that. And I'll be very honest about it by their handshake. If your handshake leaves me like a limp noodle, like, okay, where's the confidence there? If you're trying to crush my bones, I'm like, okay, this person's a little too confident. So we're going to sit there and we're going to shake your hand and give you feedback right there. Because chances are you probably didn't get that ever. So handshaking. Second station is your pitch. Okay? Your pitch is you've heard elevator pitch, 60-second pitch. It's your quick blurb about yourself. How you introduce yourself to an agency or whoever you're going to at a career fair. So you're going to walk up to our table, you're going to have a padfolio in your hand, you're going to have a bag in your hand. If you don't have one, we'll give them to you so you can manage. And we're going to tell you to go. And you have to go. Not, I would say, or I'm gonna start with, no, go, as if I'm the recruiter. And we're gonna make you do it, and it's gonna feel uncomfortable, but I'd rather you be uncomfortable with me than with a recruiter, right? So we're gonna do that. Then another station is gonna be attire, okay? So either you come dressed as you would to go to the career fair, you bring your clothes with you, or you bring a picture of your clothes, and we're gonna give you feedback on it. Because all of these things matter. A career fair is not a place where people are going to get to know your life story and you're going to become best friends forever, go out for coffee. That's not, I mean, that could be the start of that, but it's about quick judgments and quick decisions that people are making about you based on how you look, how you present yourself, and what you say. And so we're here to help coach you so that you have your best foot forward. And then from there, you can take it, right? We want to make sure that those doors that you want to stay open for you, okay? So we'll have attire. And then the last one is a quick resume review. When I say quick, I mean, here's your resume, I'm gonna look at this side, look at this side. Okay, next. So I'm gonna look for blank space, I'm gonna look for if it's too crowded, I'm gonna look for crazy fonts or things that just don't look right and if they kind of bug me, that's what we're gonna give you feedback on, right? So that's April 8th, so that's the first date I gave you. April 15th is the career fair in Westchester. It's at the Fordham campus at Westchester. And it's more for agencies, it's a smaller career fair, 15 to say 30 agencies, I believe. And it's more for people who want to work in that area, that geographic location. If that's something that you're interested in, we can definitely get you more information. It's on our student blog. So you can go over there and try it out. If you maybe are not interested in Westchester, but kind of want to get your feet wet with a career fair, you can also do that. And kind of go through this whole, I guess, real life test, right? To see what it's like. Yes?
Does it include New Jersey?
I'm sorry?
Does it include New Jersey?
The Westchester one, I think it's more just, I don't think so. I don't think that one does.
Like
no.
that region only?
I think so, yeah. That's how it was presented to me, yeah.
The Bronx.
Yeah. But we can get that, I can get a definite answer for you. Just remind me. Then April 22nd. That is the, yes.
Where is the Westchester Fair anymore?
It's at the Fordham campus in Westchester. April 22nd is the, there's a consortium of social work schools in the city. We all get together and host a career fair together. So right now it's at the Columbia campus this year. It's April 22nd from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And I have a listing of the schools, or excuse me, recruiters. Here you go. So, and I can show you how to get here. These are all of the recruiters who have already signed up to represent their agencies, their companies at the career fair. And here's all of the participating schools.
Are there any from New Jersey in that one? Or you just have to look and see?
You would have to look and see. I mean, off the top of my, just glancing through it, doesn't look like it, but we can find out for you. Yes?
Say like if you have field that day and can only take like a half day off, what would be the best hours for your job? Or do you really need to be there the whole time?
That's a very good question. You do not need to be there the whole time. It really depends on your own, like it varies, right? So some people are like, oh, be there in the beginning because everyone's fresh and, hasn't seen everybody. But then at the end of the day, you might be able to leave that lasting impression. Or at the end of the day, somebody might be so exhausted that they all run together. So there's really no ideal, recommended time. It just depends on what,
Right.
if you're only able to take half an hour off and it's only from 1 to 2 or 1 to 1:30, go for it. You just have to see what works.
Okay.
That's why you want to perfect everything else so that you do stand well. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So that's the when. So let's talk about how to prep. And we talked about the career fair boot camp, right? Everyone's going to come. It's in the evening. We'll be here. You don't have to be there the whole time, but enough time to get what you need out of it. The second one is through NYU classes. We have a link. Yeah, that's right. Go back to that. there are 2 links here. That,
Is this
come on
a
in.
career?
Yes.
Oh, thanks.
And you want to go this way.
For this
And please, everyone, make sure to sign in at the end of the session. So there are 2 links here. You want to definitely read both of those. Watch the video as well. This is really good information to help you kind of get an idea of what a career fair is and how to prepare.
And could you just show us how you got to that page again?
Sure.
I
Yeah.
get it.
This is the NYU classes
Okay.
site.
Sure.
The at Silver CPD, which is what this event is we do workshops based off these lessons. So every month, there are 2 lessons that go up. One for advanced track concentration students, and one for foundation. And so it's first years and second years, basically. You're welcome to look at all the lessons up until now. You don't have to just look at the ones that are for your year. You're encouraged to look at everything. So the one for the advanced concentration students this year, or this month, is how to work a job fair, or just information about a job fair. So we have objectives, we have action items, and this happens every month. So later this week, we will post the ones for April, and then in the month of April, we will do 2 workshops. Both workshops are the exact same content, but just give you 2 different opportunities to go to them. So this is the second workshop of this one for March. That makes sense? Okay. Okay. So make the most of that. So I just want to go over a couple of do's and don'ts for how to be in a career fair and a job fair. And I'm using those interchangeably. Most people do that I've seen. Okay. Do, take a polished, error-free resume. You can even take different versions of a resume. So let's say you have a version that you like using when applying to jobs in a hospital, versus you're also thinking perhaps school social work, and so you have a different one for that. Just make sure you keep them organized and separate. Keep in mind there's no student coat check, so you don't want to take a bunch of stuff because you will be holding it all around. And people will be giving you stuff. People will be giving you either totes or pens or whatever. So just keep that in mind. Whatever you have stays with you as you work your way through the room. So take an error-free, polished resume. If you want to take separate versions, that's fine. Keep organized, but make sure it's error-free. Because again, quick judgments, right? So if I see that something is misspelled or the spacing is off, that's going to leave an impression on me because you're coming to impress, right? There's a bunch of people who are going to be there, a bunch of schools who are involved, and they're all sending their amazing students as we are. So you want to make sure that you don't get filtered out even before you have a chance. Okay? Make sure to dress to impress. Okay? So usually we say dress how you would in an interview for the field. Clean, wrinkle-free as much as you can. You're traveling all the way up to Columbia, we get that. Make sure there are no spots, things like that. Dress to impress. If you have any questions about what attire should be, you can come to the boot camp, bring a picture, come dressed, stuff like that. Make sure that it's no printed shirts of any kind. The length of your skirt, if you're choosing to wear a skirt, should be conservative. More conservative than not is what I always recommend, because you don't want your clothing to speak louder than you do, right? Same thing with jewelry, nothing too big, nothing too flashy. Again, the focus should be on you and how amazing you are, not, how large your earrings are or how large your belt buckle is. Okay? Sounds silly, but you'd be surprised. Take business cards. Who here has business cards? Good job. Who here is going to get a business card before April 22nd? Hands up, hands up.
They're for free?
Huh?
Oh, yes, you can do it online for
You
free.
can, well, it's
In
not,
some companies.
No, they
well,
have it.
we have business cards that say NYU on it that you want.
Okay.
They're not for free, but they're very, very moderately priced. Very, very. Yeah, I think it's like $25.
How many?
$15 for like 250 or something like that. 150, 250, something like that. Do you have a question?
Yeah, 2 questions actually. If you have like your own personal business cards prior to this, do you think that's unprofessional to not use this specific new NYU ones?
So, I apologize for those of you who've heard this many times. No, what I'm about to say, your status as a student is your golden ticket. You know, you've heard me say it. You want to use that ticket because everybody wants to help a student, right? So you're a student, if your business card says student, that's a big deal and that's a really positive thing. And you're associating yourself with the school. Again, a very positive thing because you're here for a reason. We have a brand, we have a reputation, and you represent that awesomeness too, right?
Yes.
So I would use the school business card. You can't print your own because you can't use our logo with our permission. But that's why we make it easy for you. It's a really simple process. You fill out the form, you take it to Licia up on the second floor. No, you email it to her and then you pick it up from her to take to reprographic. So try to make it even easier than that, but that's where we are right now, okay? It's really simple. Everybody's gonna be doing it closer to the business, the career fair. I would advise to do yours now, okay? So make sure you have your business card because that will make you stand out too. Everyone's gonna take a resume. Obviously, everyone's gonna take a resume. Everyone may not take a business card, right?
So how we ordered again? Sorry.
So if you go, I send it out, I will send another email out this week about the career professional development, the lessons and the workshops. You get that every month, and I will put it at the bottom. Over spring break, I also sent out an email.
So we have to go to that site?
No,
to get
not to
oh,
the site.
Okay.
There's, the emails that come from our office always have a link to the business cards. But if you go to, let's see, social work, students.
I've never seen.
Here you go, thank you. So did everyone see how I did this?
Uh-huh.
Social work,
I just wanted-
students, professional development, here it is,
Okay.
big and bold.
Right there. You would think.
So here's another point about business cards. You're giving them, you're gonna get them too, right? When you get a business card, it's gonna be a little hectic right there, but if you can, just step to the side before you go to the next booth and write something down on that card, on the back of the card that you just received. So if you receive a card from me, and during our conversation, I referenced having worked in Texas, let's say, right? And it's something that, you know, we talked about a little bit, whatever, write that down. That, at the end of the day, you can put that you met me at the career fair, whatever, but just write down something significant from our conversation. Because the people that you really want to stay in touch with, you guys are going to do the awesome thing and you all are going to email them that night saying it was great meeting you, I really enjoyed our conversation about XYZ, I'm interested in opportunities, or if they have an opportunity that you're interested in, you can follow up on that. Or you could say, I would love to learn more about your agency, please let me know if you have time for coffee. Right? Not everyone's going to do that, so those who will already stand out. So business cards, give them, and when you receive them, make a note on it. Every business card I receive at the back has a little bit about who that person was, because my memory is not what it used to be, and there's always a lot going on. That little reminder goes a long way. Okay? So, business cards. Practice your pitch. Again, not that, okay, this is what I'm going to say first, and this is what I'll say next, but say it. My name is Shilpa Hegde. I work in higher ed. I've been here for 10 years. I'm really interested in student affairs and working with alumni. That's where my passion's been. But I'm also interested in XYZ. Okay? It needs to feel natural. It's going to be rehearsed. It's going to sound rehearsed, but it needs to feel natural. And so you want to make sure your inflections go accordingly. One of my biggest pet peeves is ending every sentence as if it's a question. That makes people sound less intelligent. So if I talk to you like this, and then I end every question, every sentence like this, it sounds like I'm asking a question, and that doesn't rub people the right way. And I know that's a pet peeve for me. So how you deliver your pitch is also a big thing. Go in front of a mirror, tape yourself on your phone. All of these things sound silly, but the more prepared you are, the more natural it's going to feel, and the more your words are going to speak for you than anything else at these career fairs. Because they're going to see hundreds of students that day, right? You want to stand out in the right way. Any questions so far? The thank you email we talked about, make sure you thank them at the end. Even if you didn't get a business card, just try to make a note somewhere and you want to email them. And there's no shame in asking for a business card if they don't prompt one, if they don't have one already there. They're there to promote their agency and they're putting themselves out there as a resource. So like, oh, do you have a card that I can have? Simple as that, right? Do you have a business card? Research the employers. So that list, and I'll show you how to get to the list. Actually, I'll show you right now. Okay. There's a Facebook page that you should like called the Annual Metro New York MSW Job Fair. Like it. Okay? So once you're there, you can go and where it says employer registration, that's the link you're going to click on. I know it sounds silly, but you'll click there. It'll take you to this employer registration page. At the top it looks like this. But at the bottom, after who's participating, it's going to give you the attendee list. Okay? So you want to go through this and see who you like. You may not want every single person, every single agency, and that's okay. But you have to know which ones stand out for you. Like, oh, okay, this one sounds great. Children's Aid Society. I'm really interested in that. I'm really interested in Habit House, etc. The ones that you want, the ones that you're interested in, you need to know about. Okay? You need to know what kind of place is it? Why are you interested in it? Be able to communicate that. Be able to communicate that you are knowledgeable about the place and that's why you're interested in it. And you can come up to the person and speak intelligently about it. Okay? You don't want to go up to them and be like, okay, sorry, so what do y'all do? That's going to be the first way to cancel yourself out of that running. So research the employers and take water. Yes?
So is that part of the pitch? You talking to them about the organization, or is that kind of like the later part of it?
It's a later part. So
Okay.
your pitch is pretty standard. It can be tweaked slightly depending on who you're talking to, obviously, right? Who you are, what you want, why you want it, right? And we have tons of previous lessons on the pitch that you can go and see. Wasserman, the Career Center, has amazing resources, online and in person. Again, that can help you develop your pitch as well. So I won't focus too much on that. But this is more when you're engaging with the recruiter, you want to sound knowledgeable. Like if you know that they have opportunities, if there was a position that you're interested in, I saw this online, I thought, I wanted to know a little bit about it from you, about, what are your thoughts about the, this type of client caseload or whatever. Like speak intelligently that you've done. The main point is you want to show the recruiter that, hey, I care enough that I did research, and that helps you narrow down who you want, who you don't want, right? So you don't want, the last thing you want to do is start talking to somebody and then through it you realize, wow, this is working with adolescents. I have absolutely no interest in working with adolescents. Not only did you waste your time, you waste the recruiter's time, but you also kind of look silly. And people know each other, right? So this recruiter might know the other recruiter who does work for the place that you want to work. And you don't want to have a bad impression with anybody. There's another point I was going to make. Oh, when you're doing your pitch, another thing to practice, this actually came up in our last workshop. One of the students had just been to a career fair and she was like, I was talking to the person, to the recruiter, and all of a sudden he looks behind me because something distracted him. And it threw me off. And it will, that will happen. There's a lot going on, right? There's like, there are going to be possibly 90 companies there, 90 agencies there. There's going to be a lot going on. Don't let that throw you off. It's okay to pause and be like, well, oh yeah, that's crazy. And then be able to pick back up. Okay, so just keep those types of things in mind when you're rehearsing. Take water. You're going to be talking a lot. And I don't think that there's going to be water available for the students. So make sure you carry your own, because the last thing you want to do is like you're parched and you want to talk to your dream agency and you finally made it to the front of the line. You don't want to waste that opportunity because you didn't have your water. Yes?
What is the etiquette like as far as like waiting your turn? Is like you actually make a cue, you actually make a line, and you do you have
It varies. So if there are, it organically happens every time I've seen it. It's not like somebody's gonna come and police, no, you need to be in the line. Sometimes people hover around the table and the recruiters are in the back. Sometimes the recruiters are in the front, and people just kind of hover around the recruiter or make a line. There is a possibility that you might need to be a little more assertive, and there are people there who know how to be able to join in on the conversation but not monopolize it, because you want to be respectful of your fellow students who are trying to learn as well, just like you would want someone to be respectful of you. But there may or may not be a line. Don't let that throw you off. If you have to, stand around for your turn, and you're like in a semicircle around, that's fine too. The recruiter knows, and they will try their best, from what I've seen, to try to okay, so tell me about yourself, right? If that doesn't happen, don't be afraid to say, I'm really interested in this too, and interject yourself in the conversation. Good question. Okay, let's talk about the don'ts. Did you? Okay. Do not ask for a job. Do not ask for a job. It's a big deal. It gets awkward. It's not professional. It's like the big red X about career fairs. Do not ask for a job. That's not why you're there. You're not going to walk out with a job in your hand. If you do, that's amazing. Come tell me. I would love to tell that story. But you're not going to walk out with a job in your hand unless you've done some prior work and interviews and stuff, and you sealed everything there, which is not going to happen. But do not ask for a job. Okay? It just gets uncomfortable for the recruiter. You don't look professional. You look unrefined. We don't want to do that because you represent us too, right? And you're too cool to do that. Okay. Do not use this day to break in new shoes. You will be on your feet a lot. You will be on your feet a lot. You'll be walking a lot. Like I said, there's no student coat check, lounge, etc. This is not the day to break that in. I would even venture to say, don't break in a new outfit. Make sure you feel comfortable in your skin. It sounds silly, but you want your voice and who you are to present itself clearly and without any other distractions. So if you're fiddling with your pants or this jacket, or there's some tag, that's going to really come off, and people are going to remember that more than what you were saying, right? So simple things that you may not think of necessarily, I want to make sure that no new shoes, wear your outfit. And actually, I would even do your pitch in your outfit to see how it affects you, and do it in front of the mirror or record yourself to see how you're presenting yourself. Because again, it's all about quick judgments at a career fair, because they're looking at hundreds of students. Okay? Don't develop a new pitch the day of. This should be something natural, something that comes to you, something that you've rehearsed, like we talked about, while you're walking around in your suit in your apartment with your, week-old shoes. This is something that's already done. Do not do it the night before, okay? Which is why our April 8th boot camp is on the 8th and not on the 21st. Cool? Any question?
Is there other students from other schools also at that job fair? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
There are a number of other schools. So when you go to this to see the list of employers, these are all the schools.
Okay.
All here.
So all of them are going to be.
Yes.
A lot of competition.
Okay? So it's because we all come together and we host this, so employers don't have to do it again and again and again at every other school. They can just do it all at once. They see everybody, and it's, the pro is they're only doing it once. Con is everybody's there. But you've got nothing to be afraid of because you're silver students and you're amazing and you're going to stand out. Continuing on the list of don'ts. Don't ask for a job. I'm saying it twice. Saying it again. Do not ask for a job. I've actually had this happen. So I want to make sure if you get anything from this, don't ask for a job. Okay? So that's all I have. Did you have anything you had to talk about? What questions? Yes.
What do you want us to say if you don't ask for a job? For a job opportunity, you said? We add opportunity to the job?
No, I'm sorry?
You said don't ask for a job, so what do you want us to say?
I want you to say your pitch. I want you to
Or
say
to
why.
practice the pitch instead of I'm here to look for a
No,
job.
I mean, I know why you're talking to me. You're talking to me because you want to work at this place.
Exactly.
We know that, but if you say, can I have a job? Can I have an interview?
Okay.
No.
Not direct,
Because if you
but-
say, can I have an interview? I want to, here's my resume, I'd like to apply for this job, when is my interview?
Mhm.
You would be surprised, but I've actually had stories of people who've done this,
Okay.
and it's very awkward for everyone, it looks unprofessional and unrefined. So when you are talking to a recruiter, you're talking about who you are, why you're amazing, and why they want you, why you want them. You want to show that you've done your research again. What about this specific agency, this specific role are you interested in? Are there roles available that you researched and you saw that, hey, there is a school counselor role in this school that I'm thinking about applying to, and I saw that it was posted, you know, I've already applied. You can even share that information if you want. I've already applied to this because I thought it was such an amazing opportunity, especially because I love how you have this program of integrating schools, teachers and counselors and blah, blah. You know your stuff. Wow, that's awesome. That's going to stand out to me, right? Another don't add the people on LinkedIn. Okay, the people who are there as recruiters, do not add them on LinkedIn. When you interview with people, do not add them on LinkedIn. When you work at a position, then maybe, depending on your relationship with your peers and your boss. But otherwise, do not add them on LinkedIn. It feels awkward for the recruiter on their side because what if it wasn't a right match on their eyes? Or what if, you know, they aren't able to offer you a job? Or they're not able to extend you an interview. It gets really awkward for them. And because they, in their job, are recruiting, you don't want that to affect, you know, their own personal professional network. Yes?
So, I don't know much about this. So, those people that you're meeting, they're from HR and they're in a position to invite you or to recommend that you have an interview?
Yes and no. They may or may not be from HR. It depends. Every agency, every company does it differently. Sometimes people send alumni from different schools when it's a school-specific fair. Sometimes people send, if I'm hiring school counselors, maybe I'll send a school counselor because this person might know better than an HR person. Sometimes I can only send HR, or it might be mixed, right? They're collecting resumes so that they can take that feedback back to
So
whoever is a decision maker. They may or may not be a full decision maker themselves, but they'll be able to share that information.
So then so then once you make that connection and if there is any interest, then it's in their boat, it's in their camp, and they'll follow up if they want to. So it's
Yes
just
and
like you're doing like an advertisement for yourself, and they may be interested or not, and then they'll follow up if they want.
But you're going to be that special class of people, of students, who you're going to follow up first and send them a thank you email. It was lovely meeting you today. Don't say lovely. It was great meeting you today. I enjoyed our conversation about blah. I really enjoyed learning about your agency and X, Y, Z. Either say, I saw that there's a position open I'm interested in, or I've applied to a position, or I'd love to learn about your agency. Can we meet up for coffee, or whatever. Or you could just simply leave it as a thank you. By doing that alone, you will stand out. There's a good chance that you will stand out. So, but for those who don't do that, yeah, once you give your resume and you give everything else, then the ball is in the recruiter's court. And even if they don't be discouraged if they say they don't have something right now. Social work is an as needed, I guess, field, in that I can't hire a cohort of social workers for this, you know, class, and then next year another cohort. I have a position open and I'm hiring for it. So they may not have something right now, but they might know that they're expecting a vacancy, or when a vacancy comes up, you want to be able to be on their list of potential candidates that they're interested in. Yes?
I have a question, and I apologize, I was a little late, so if you gave any of this information earlier, apologies. What percentage of participants in job fairs actually ultimately find their job that way?
I don't have that data, but this year, for students who are interested in going to this job fair, we're asking you to register through CareerNet, and so then we can follow up to get that data. But it's hard to say, and actually I don't think Wasserman even collects that data specifically, because it's they collect data, from my understanding, on did Wasserman services ultimately lead to a placement? Because it could be that you met someone there, or you actually met them in something else before, or you had emailed them before, so it's hard to pinpoint exactly that that was the first point of contact that ultimately led to a placement. But we will collect that data this time. So those of you who are interested in going to the career fair, who should be everybody, please go on to Wasserman's site, CareerNet. You need a CareerNet account, which you should have anyway because you're using their services. But through your CareerNet account, when you log in under events, you're going to search for MSW Job Fair and then register. And that way we know to send you emails about the job fair specifically. There's like preparation emails, what to do the day before, et cetera, et cetera.
The reason I ask is there are statistics on things like how many people get jobs through classified ads, which is a very small percentage, you know. And I wonder if you're there, and I'm just playing a little bit of the devil's advocate, right? If you're there with hundreds of other people and they're getting hundreds of resumes, does yours just go back with a big stack and sit in the office? And should you be looking to try to set up a meeting or take it to the next level?
100%, because it's not, any one event in isolation is not going to get you necessarily to where you want to go. So it's all about networking. It's about how your LinkedIn looks. It's about how, if you're going to send this email afterwards, it's about if you're going to follow up and say, hey, do you mind meeting me for coffee? I'd love to learn about XYZ. Or let's say you're really interested in the Children's Aid Society. Then you go onto your LinkedIn and you say, okay, of the NYU alumni who work in Children's Aid Society, and who do I know that knows this person? And how do I get an informational interview? All of these things need to happen. It's not just any one event in isolation.
So you would recommend having a LinkedIn account?
Oh, yes. We've done a number of LinkedIn workshops, but definitely go and see someone at Wasserman. You want to make an appointment with them to kind of walk you through what LinkedIn should look like, what are do's and don'ts about it. We don't have any other LinkedIn workshops for this semester. We did focus on them quite a bit earlier. So for that reason, we're trying to make sure we touch all the topics. But Wasserman always offers that as an appointment category. Yes.
You mentioned that you've run these programs before. Where would one find out that those programs were being run?
Through our emails. So every 2 weeks we send, in the spring semester it's been every 2 weeks, we send an email. It went out Friday with upcoming career development stuff, announcements, scholarships and opportunities, and just what's going on campus. And then in addition to that, every month, at the beginning of the month, I sent a specific career and professional development email that has the NYU classes, the topics for the classes for this month, or the lessons rather, and it has the workshop dates for this one. It has a workshop date, the panel date for the alumni panel. We have a new series that we started this semester called Wasserman at Silver, where Wasserman comes here and does a workshop, so you don't have to go there. So those 4 opportunities are always there. In addition to that, we advertise Wasserman's different resources. They're different, not only they're like career counseling and stuff, but they're also doing different workshops themselves that you can attend. In addition to that, spring break, on that Saturday, I sent an email with everything in it, all of the upcoming stuff for the semester. So search Silver Student Affairs, or Student News and Events. Silver Student News and Events, I think that's what it's called, in your inbox, and you should definitely be getting those. So, and there are flyers on there. What other questions do you have? Yes.
I have a question that's related but not. In terms of the resume, I've heard very mixed reviews about people being really firm that it can only be 1 page as in 1 page, and then people being firm about like, okay, it can be 1 page front and back. And I think when you referenced it quickly earlier, you said front and back. So I'm just asking about that.
Good question. It depends. If you're a career changer and you don't have much, or let's say you just graduated and came straight into the MSW program, then you probably shouldn't be a full front and a full back. Maybe a full front, maybe a little bit on the back, depends. If you're in your current placement, your internships, and those are really, really intense things that you're learning, or you have volunteer experiences that are completely make sense to put in because it's transferable skills, or even from a previous career, they're transferable skills, then you can add that in that case, yes. If you were in a career for 10 years and then decided you wanted to change, and you're coming here, and again, with transferable skills, then it could be occasional front and back. I would not go over more than one page front and back. You have a question? Yes.
How would I find out about similar career fairs in New Jersey for New Jersey social workers? Because I could tell, I believe there's like maybe 2 places that I know in New Jersey from the list.
Can you email me and I can look into that for you?
Sure.
It's sh153@NYU. And I can research it for you.
Thank you.
Yes.
You can also make an appointment at the Career Center to go over your resume,
Yes.
right? Okay. So it'd be a separate appointment, LinkedIn and resume.
I would advise doing separate appointments because there's a lot of information for each topic.
Okay. And do you recommend we print our resumes on nice fancy paper, or is that what people do?
I always did, actually, now I'm thinking about it, and when I, not like, the first, you know, it doesn't have to be like the paper stands out, but like more than your average printer paper, like a little bit heavier weight. I like the way that feels. I think it adds a little bit to it, but it's a personal preference.
And do you just give it like as a loose sheet, or should we just like?
As a loose sheet,
Okay.
because again, they're collecting a lot, right? So if it does snag on things, you don't want to do that.
Oh, really? You don't want to staple it?
I would,
You like front and back?
yeah.
All right.
Yeah. No, definitely, because I mean, you're thinking fronts only, 2 pages stapled, is that what you're asking?
Yeah, well, that's what I have right now, but if that's not the protocol, I'll...
Well, because think about it, if I'm putting a bunch of papers together and I'm shuffling together and that front and that back get separated, then only half your information is getting through.
True.
So, and you don't want, the last
Have
thing you
fun.
want a recruiter to be like, oh man, I gotta find this. Easy as you can be for them, you want it to make their life easier. Front and back, yes.
Should you attach your business card to the resume?
I would say not, again, I mean, this is just a personal preference. If I'm putting a bunch of papers together and like the card snags, you know, and it doesn't zip, a little OCD that way, if it doesn't like fit together properly, it bugs me. But that's just my personal preference. If you feel like it works better for you, then that's cool.
Okay.
Anything else? Wonderful, well, thank you for coming. Please eat up. And we will see you next week at our other events, and definitely for the job fair prep boot camp. We do not at the moment, we'll try and maybe set up a webinar so that we do them here in Westchester, but we're still under trying to get more dark and cloudy. Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be fun.
Don't say that.
I'm not We're tired of something that starts with the letter L.
Well, with the S word.
All right.
Is that your?
It's going to, I don't know how they're communicating it to their students. If it's only going to graduating seniors, that could be, because I'm not part of that distribution list. Robin Miller is the person who is the contact there that I've been working with regards to the career.
I'm just curious how the information is
Valid
given
question.
out. The fact that I'm not aware of it and it's this way,
Yeah.
it may very well be that they're all.
It might be. Yes, of course.
Veronica.
Of course, thank you for
Gone.
coming.
Keep going.
Yeah?
Got a lot on my plate these days.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Right? Between like trying to find a job, trying to graduate, trying to finish your papers, trying to do the licensing exam.
Oh
Like,
gosh,
I'm
yeah.
just like, find this very like overwhelming.
Sure.
What about you?
Yeah, all those things plus, you know, I just got engaged, so I
I
gotta
do
move
know.
out, at the end of
You
May,
know,
I move out of my
Quick
apartment.
drop on that, I do remember.
Yeah, so, you know, gotta find a temporary home for